Welcome back, chummers. So, we are watching the DVDs we have from Green Winters. And we're in a little story in the story. So, we are live on the DVD. Okay, we have a reporter here. Again, for those of you just joining us, we are coming to you live from Stolberg. A few hours ago, the Dragon Feuerschwinge launched an unprovoked attack on this Sleepy Hearts mountain town. And you can see the results behind me. Fire, ashes and blood. Fire. Yes. Things we didn't expect from a dragon called Feuerschwinge. Fire. We are joined tonight by a survivor of this latest and most horrifying attack. The reporter returns to face a pale man standing behind him. Sir, I understand that you've been through a terrible ordeal. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us tonight. The camera switches focus to a middle-aged man with a haunted look in his eyes. He stammers out a reply. Yes, of course. If you could, sir, could you please tell the people at home about your experience of the attack? It was horrible, just pure chaos. So many people are dead, people I knew, roasted alive or trampled to death trying to escape. My own house was burned to the ground during the attack. My family, we have nothing now. You all made it through the attack, too? Your wife, your kids? Yeah, we all made it, thank God. You rode out the attack in a small shelter, me, my wife, and our 2 daughters. The shelter, it protected us, but the heat was just unbearable. We couldn't have stayed in there much longer than we did. How long were you holed up in there? 3, maybe 4 hours. I don't know. We just stayed inside until the heat died down and the screaming stopped. And what happened after that? When it was over, you know, when the air cooled down. The reporter nods and the man continues. We stepped outside. There was nothing left, just smoldering wreckage and this dense cloud of black, oily smoke. And the stench in the air. God, that smell! It smelled like roasted meat. There's a long pause from the tortured look on his face. You can tell that the man is struggling to decide whether or not to continue speaking. Eventually he does. My girls, they found what was left of their nanny outside. Her body, what was left of it, was slumped against the shelter door. I keep telling myself that I couldn't hear her pounding to get in, but that isn't true. I could. I just couldn't bring myself to open that door. I couldn't risk my family like that. Not for her, not for anyone. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to speak with us. Yeah. You heard it here, an absolutely chilling account of tonight's attack. Again, the town of Stolberg has been reduced to ash, another victim of the fire wing. Stay with us for more up-to-the-minute reporting on Feuerschwinge's reign of terror. Green Winter's face reappears on the screen. Okay, it's time for a new approach. Adrian's complete dead end, that much is pretty clear by now. So I'm gonna do some digging on Feuerschwinge instead. Let's see where this goes. The screen abruptly goes black and the video cuts off. A few moments later you find yourself returned to the menu screen. So play track 4. The DVD player ramps up to speed, filling the air with a shrill whining sound. Green Winter's image appears on the screen. The timestamp on the video reads 2055. October 31. Halloween! A haunted night. Let's see what happens on this day. Well, that was a bust. Little progress on Feuerschwinge either. He shakes his head. I don't know, it's weird. The information is there, it's just wrong somehow. It's too well laid out, too simple. Real life is messy, and this feels just a little too neat. That's not the only thing that's nagging at me. I'm getting the tingly feeling all up and down the back of my neck again. It feels like I'm being tracked. I'm no Matrix hotshot like Clockwork or Schaefer, but I'm good enough to know when someone's on my scent. Gotta install some new security measures, can't be too careful. Winter's image disappears, the display goes black. A few seconds later we return to the main menu and play track 5. The display goes black for a moment and the face of Green Winter swings onto the screen. He is seated at a computer. Off to his left, an enormous monitor fills the screen. His voice carries an edge of panic. The timestamp on the video reads 2054, November the 9th. Christ, I'm getting too close to something. There's a trail of bodies and there have been disappearances. Clockwork, Martian, Peregrine. They've all disappeared within the past few years. Clockwork just went AWOL yesterday. And they were all making the same sorts of inquiries about the Firewing that I've been. There are ghost stories spreading around the Decker community. Stories about Deckers disappearing and then showing up again later, but wrong somehow. Scary stuff, and I'm starting to think that it's true. Blitz leans on to whisper to you. I know the stories he's talking about, Chief. You really put much stock in. Not until now. Could these rumors be related to what's happening here? Am I being paranoid? He pauses for a moment as if seriously considering the question. Then he shakes his head and slams his fist on the table. No, I don't think so. Something big is happening here, and I'm right in the middle of it. Iger cuts in. That's a bit of a leap. One other thing. Tolstoy told me a story about a kill team that might be related to all of this. Apparently a Decker named Hellbore posted a theory about Feuerschwinge to the Shadowrun BBS about 5 years ago. About an hour later, a mil-spec team showed up in meat space and cooked her entire apartment, with her in it. If the Tolstoy told me was true, Hellbore Live posted the event. She described her killer, this great big orc with skin grafts. Then the whole thread disappeared, gone without a trace. Leap? I got laugh. Sounds like he's on the right track to me. Iger holds a silence but considers the point with a small nod. On the screen Winters pauses. He looks like he's working up to something. Finally he speaks. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This has gotta be Feuerschwinge. All of it. Adrian was right about her. She's still alive. And she's out of the SOX. She's covering her tracks, working the shadows, preparing to rise again. And that means that I have to find you, Adrian, for someone's sake. Thankfully I've got a lead. For the first time in 2 decades I've got a solid goddamned lead. I've backtraced all of the Matrix notes that Hellbore was looking into, back before she got cooked. Whoever's been purging the Matrix didn't think about it, and I found that she'd turned up. Winter stabs a few keys on his keyboard and an image expands to fill the screen of his monitor. A satellite photo of a rural landscape, and noted with GPS data. A set of map coordinates. So now I've got a target, a place to start digging. the Harfeld Manor, convened located on an isolated stretch of countryside miles away from prying eyes. Matrix records indicate that some sort of data vault exists beneath the estate, so that's what I need to get into. And this is where we came in. As if on cue, a familiar image winks onto the monitor to Winter's left. Monica. I think I'm gonna tap Schaefer for this job. She's got the skills to bypass whatever securities they are running out there, and she's scalable enough to take the job in the first place. I'll feed her some line about flux state security and she'll eat it up with a spoon. I warned her. Amsel's voice is choked with rage. I warned her! On the display, Winter's mouth parts into a broad grin. Time to put plans into motion. By this time tomorrow night I should have the information that I need, and on the off chance that Schaefer gets taken out, well, that will tell me something too. Can't make an omelette and all that. Until then. Winter's image disappeared, the display goes black. A few seconds later the main menu returns and we can play track 6 now. When you play the 6th track, a small video window appears. So you recognize a scene in the window. You are looking at the tattered drapes and nicotine-stained wallpaper of Winter's hotel room at the Dusk Castle house. The timestamp on the video reads 2054 November 10th. There is a blur of motion and the haggard form of Green Winters lumbers into frame. Suspicions confirmed, Schaefer dead! Christ! Winter reaches the shaking hand off camera. A moment later it returns clutching a cheap plastic drinking glass. He gulps something down, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand and takes a deep breath. Okay. Back up, slow down, start from the beginning. Winters closes his eyes and makes a visible effort to calm himself. When he speaks again, his voice is steady. Got the call from my contact in the Kreuzbazaar. Schaefer killed on the estate run. Magic security at the estate cooked her brain. Considering Schaefer's skill and experience on side ice must have been extreme, even by Berlin standard. Security at that kind costs money. Real money. Given the evidence uncovered so far, corporate involvement unlikely. The connection to the Firewing is too strong. So let's come right out and say it. The dragon is what we are dealing with here. And the smart money says that she's coming for me next. Well, I won't go down without a fight. I've still got my contacts, still got my connections, and the flux state can be a hell of a weapon for the man who knows how to manipulate it. Winters takes another long pull from his glass grimace and swallows. Time for me to take my place. Ghost stories or no, missing deckers or no, I've got to check into the magic and start pulling strings. The countermeasures that I installed earlier should be more than enough to keep me safe for the 20 minutes I'll be in there. Winters drains the rest of the glass, then tosses it back over his shoulder. A moment later you hear the dull clattering sound of hard plastic on linoleum. Schaefer's death was tragic. She was a staunch supporter of the F-state, but still, all things considered. Winters fishes for something off screen. A moment later, his hand Reaper's clutching a data jack cable. Better her than me. He plugs the cable into his head and the screen cuts to static. Eject the DVD. As your finger nears the jack button, a black screen cuts on over the static. A moment later, Green Winter's Hager's face appears. If you're watching this, then I guess that they caught up to me. They will be after you too now. Blitz whispers into your ear again, more harshly this time. What the hell is this? Why didn't you warn me about this before I came here? Not now, Bliss. Whoever you are, whatever you think you're after, you need to find Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Not because he's my brother, because if Feuerschwinge is rising again, he's the only one who can stop her. I've seen what happens to people who get too close to this. I'm dead, and dozens of others have died. You'll be next unless you can find Adrian. The screen cuts back to static, the message is over, the DVD tray slides out of the reader. So, let's talk to Paul. The room goes quiet as everyone struggles to process what you've just seen on the DVD. Finally, Dietrich breaks the silence. A dragon? Son of a bitch! Green Winter sent us up against the dragon! The Firewing, Amsel's voice is thick with dread. She lives. I'm really starting to regret the fact that I didn't just stay at the hotel. Iger ignores him. Wait a second, we don't know for certain. Dietrich lays a hand on Iger's shoulder. The evidence seems pretty convincing to me, love. I'll even take it a step further. I think that secret facility that we stumbled into was her lair. The room falls silent. Iger and Glory exchange glances. After a moment, Dietrich continues. Just think about it. The decker that Winters got those coordinates from was posting about Feuerschwinge. Then she was killed by that same orcish bastard that attacked us after Monica died. That's a direct link between the dragons, the scared orc, and the Harfeld Manor. And then Winter was killed by the same thing that killed Monica? Exactly. My gut tells me that the dragon is down there, Freezer. Someplace for beneath the surface. I think that we knocked on the door to her lair without even knowing it. And I think that what we've seen, the dragon will do whatever it takes to keep us quiet about it. Okay, going on the assumption that there is a dragon and that she will come after us. What do you propose that we do about it? I'll tell you what we are going to do. We are going to follow Winter's advice. We are gonna find Vauclair. Yes, Freezer, right. Finding Dr. Vauclair should be a priority. Should be our priority. If we're going up against the dragon, we need to find ourselves a dragon slayer. Winters spent 20 years searching for Vauclair and it got him nowhere. How do you propose that we find him? With the help of an information broker. I'll go talk to Altuksen. For this, no. While Herr Burskazi is very capable, a task of this magnitude is beyond him. We need to make contact with the premier information broker in Berlin. We need to talk to Alice. Blitz coughs at Amsel. Alice? Best of luck, and I hope that you're rich. Amsel raises an eyebrow. For this, rich enough, even if only just. Who is this, Alice? A most prominent figure in Berlin's shadow community. Ex-Shockwellen writer, she provides information retrieval services for the F-State. Amsel turns to the computer console behind him and runs his fingers over a virtual keyboard. The machine begins to hum. If Winters was right, if Vauclair is still alive, she can help us find him. The console splits out a stick of black plastic. Amsel plucks it from the computer and hands it to you. Here, your key to speak with Alice. A cred stick? Amsel nods. An encoded cred stick, yes, 10,000 nuyen. Alice will not show her face for less. This represents the least the last of my personal savings freezer. Make this meeting count. Where do I need to go? Take the U-Bahn to the Altstadt Spandau. There you will find a connection tube that the locals refer to as the rabbit hole. You will find a method of contacting Alice there. Don't call it that in front of her though. Word on the street is that she hates it. Please hurry. While we're out, I'll work on acquiring new contracts for the team. Alice is the best there is at what she does, and her services carry a price tag to match. So, we have a new mission to do, and we have an old mission to close. So, I hope you have joined the video and watch the next one, and give the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave comments, you know the things, you know the stuff. And so, bye bye, I'm Freezer. Warum steht hier eine Rakete? Whee!